May 31st, 2006. Stockholm, Sweden. At dawn, armed police fan out across the city. They hit the bedroom of a notorious hacker. Servers are unplugged mid-operation, cables ripped out, hard drives sealed into evidence bags. By late morning, Swedish prosecutors hold press conferences. Hollywood celebrates. Music labels cheer. The Pirate Bay, the most notorious piracy site on Earth, is dead. It served tens of millions of users, cost entertainment companies billions, and openly mocked copyright law. Now it's gone, except it isn't. 72 hours later, the site comes back online. Same name, same search bar, same users, only one difference. The homepage now shows a pirate ship firing cannons at Hollywood's sign. That moment terrified governments far more than piracy ever had, because if police can seize every server, arrest the founders, and still fail, then the problem isn't crime, it's control. This is the story of how 3 Swedish outsiders built something that law enforcement couldn't shut down, corporations couldn't sue into submission, and courts couldn't truly destroy. This is Franchise. The Pirate Bay didn't begin as a criminal empire. It began in a bedroom. In early 2003, Stockholm, a teenage programmer named Gottfrid Svartholm ran a server under his bed. Cables spilled across the floor. The hardware was improvised, the code was personal. Online, Gottfrid went by Anacotta, skeptical, sharp-tongued, obsessed with cryptography. He believed copyright law was outdated, not immoral, just irrelevant in a digital world. Alongside 2 collaborators, Fredrik Nye and Peter Sunde, he built a BitTorrent tracker as a side project. The goal wasn't profit, it was frictionless sharing, no permissions, no gatekeepers, no apologies. At first it was small, Linux distributions, obscure files, early adopters. Then Hollywood showed up, traffic exploded, suddenly thousands of users were sharing movies, music, software, all coordinated through Gottfrid's server. Bandwidth costs surged, and his parents got nervous. The bedroom wasn't enough anymore, so they did something clever. They launched their own hosting company, PRQ. Its rules were simple: host anything, keep no logs, and ignore takedown threats. PRQ didn't hide from legal pressure. It dared lawyers to try. Every threat letter became a badge of honor, and that defiance turned the Pirate Bay into something bigger than a website. It became a symbol. Most companies respond to legal threats quietly. The Pirate Bay did the opposite. When movie studios sent cease and desist letters, the founders published them publicly. When lawyers demanded removals, they replied with sarcasm. One response to a Hollywood studio became legendary. DreamWorks sued them for pirating their new movie, Shrek 2. In return, he mocked them, saying that Sweden was not a state of America, mocking American jurisdiction, insulting the lawyers, and daring them to do something about it. The internet loved it. Traffic tripled overnight. What corporations didn't understand was this: every attack strengthened the brand. The Pirate Bay wasn't just distributing files, it was distributing an attitude. Simple interface, bare design, a pirate ship logo. Underneath, something more dangerous was growing, a network effect. Every new user made the system harder to kill. Every shared file created redundancy. The site itself didn't host content. It indexed connections between users. Take down one server, the file still lived everywhere else. By 2005, tens of millions of users were connected. The entertainment industry panicked. Lawsuits against individuals weren't working. Public sympathy was shifting, so they changed strategy. They went after the infrastructure, and that infrastructure had one fatal weakness. It lived in Sweden. In early 2006, pressure intensified. Emails flew between Hollywood and Swedish officials. Diplomatic channels heated up. Eventually, law enforcement moved. Before the raid, Gottfrid got a warning. Telecom contacts whispered that police were mobilizing. But this wasn't a surprise. The Pirate Bay team had planned for this moment for years. Backups were encrypted, databases mirrored abroad, infrastructure designed to redeploy anywhere. By the time police arrived on May 31st, the most important data was already leaving the country. The SWAT team broke in the house and arrested Gottfrid in his bedroom. Another team of officers seized all the hardware and arrested all the head technicians. They even unplugged and seized all the servers. But hardware wasn't the system, code was. News headlines extensively covered everything. Hollywood celebrated as if it was a victory, but 72 hours later, the Pirate Bay reappeared, hosted from the Netherlands. The raid didn't cripple the site, it advertised it. User numbers doubled. then tripled. The Pirate Bay hardened itself further. Mirror sites appeared across continents. Modular code deployable anywhere. Distributed backups shared with trusted admins. Law enforcement realized too late that they weren't fighting a server, they were fighting an idea. And ideas don't live in data centers. By 2009, the strategy shifted again. If they couldn't kill the site, they would make an example of the people behind it. The Pirate Bay trial became global theater. 4 defendants, dozens of lawyers, journalists from every major outlet. The prosecution framed the founders as criminal masterminds responsible for billions in damages. The defense argued something radical. They didn't host files. They indexed links. Legally, they claimed that distinction mattered. The courtroom struggled to understand BitTorrent itself. At one point, prosecutors mangled the technical explanation so badly that Gottfried corrected them from the defense table. The internet laughed, but the verdict didn't. All defendants were found guilty of assisting copyright infringement. Massive fines and prison sentences were given to them. The court wanted deterrence. Instead, it got mythology. Traffic didn't fall. If anything, user loyalty deepened. The Pirate Bay wasn't just surviving, it was outgrowing its creators. After the verdicts, the founders' paths diverged. Some served time, some fled, some disappeared into the global hacker underground. Gottfried vanished for years, living stateless, encrypted, mobile, but the Pirate Bay kept evolving. In 2012, it made its most important technical shift. It abandoned torrent files entirely. Instead, it used magnet links, pure text hashes, no files to seize, no physical targets. You can't confiscate an equation. The entire site could now fit into a compressed backup that anyone could download and clone. The Pirate Bay stopped being a website. It became a species. Kill one, another appears. Governments seized domains. ISPs blocked access. Users found other methods to access it and routed around them. Streaming services eventually reduced piracy's demand, but they never erased it. And the Pirate Bay remained online. Not dominant, not central, but alive, because you can't kill what has no center. The Pirate Bay didn't win because it broke the law. It won because it understood the internet better than its enemies. It treated law enforcement as a network problem, corporations as outdated systems, control as an illusion. Governments learned an uncomfortable truth. In a decentralized world, power doesn't come from force. It comes from architecture. The Pirate Bay proved that shutting something down is meaningless if you don't understand how it's built. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Franchise. We expose the real strategies behind power, control, and systems that refuse to die. Comment below. What story should we break down next? Because sometimes, the most dangerous thing isn't a weapon. It's an idea that won't stay buried.